I declare open this graduation ceremony. Please be seated. Graduating students, guests and staff of the university, it is a great pleasure to welcome you to this graduation ceremony as Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Ulster University. The role of the Deputy Vice-Chancellor is wide-ranging. It has its challenges, but these are greatly outweighed by the pleasure I get as an educationalist to see the success of Ulster students as they progress through their studies to the ultimate manifestation of those years of hard work in these graduation ceremonies, the highlight of the university year. Congratulations to all who will walk across the stage, and also to those members of family and friends who have supported you through these years. Recent years have rightly seen a significant debate within higher education about the importance of the student experience in ensuring that those who come to university not only benefit from an excellent education, but also enjoy the rewards to be drawn from the dynamic and vibrant interactions of campus life. Leaving here today, you will be exploring different routes. Some will go into employment, some will remain in education, some will go back to your communities to apply your knowledge and skills to advance the economic, social and cultural lives of those communities. Civic contribution, as it were. Before you leave, I think it is worth reflecting on that concept of the student experience for a few moments. It is, of course, not one thing and will have been different for each of you. Let me start by saying that I firmly believe that students must be at the centre of university life, working in partnership with academics and professional staff, not only to develop individuals through an all-embracing student experience, but also to build a university that plays its full role in the communities that it is part of. As Deputy Vice-Chancellor, I take great pride in this university and in its students and staff. In my view, it is a credit to this university that it provides its students with a superb range of facilities and activities to enable them to make the most of their university days. As you graduate today from the university, it is my firm hope that you can look back on a student experience that has been challenging, rewarding, and transformational in its impact on your lives. Of course, while I talk of the student experience, I realize that this will mean something different for each and every one of you. Some of you may even associate with Stephen Fry's version of student life, that lectures broke into one's day and were clearly a terrible waste of time. Necessary, no doubt, if you were reading law or medicine or some other vocational subject. But in the case of English, the natural thing was to talk a lot, listen to music, drink coffee and wine, read books and go to plays, perhaps be in those plays. Rather, you came here as individuals, and I and the university appreciate that there are a myriad of student experiences, and it is our desire to see everyone as unique as what they are, but to deliver the same excellent experience to all. You see, it is not just at graduation that you become the centre of life at Ulster University. The university firmly believes that what is good for our students is good for Ulster. Here too we recognise that students enter higher education from different backgrounds, through different routes, on different trajectories, and that they need different kinds and levels of support. I have come to know over the years that Ulster believes in being responsive to students' needs and strives to develop a deeper understanding of those needs. Supporting and enhancing the student experience throughout the student life cycle is critical to success in higher education today for both the student and the university. The Ulster experience encompasses all aspects of student life, with the academic imperative at the heart of it, or at least a good second to the social life. It is all too easy to throw around labels about making any real effort without any real effort to understand what it actually means. Does it focus on the process of being a student? And if it does, what is more important? Teaching, research, facilities like accommodation, sports facilities, nightlife, developing new relationships? Is it about winning a place at a highly ranked university, getting a good job, or being able to name drop a high status brand? For you, it may have been some of those things. It may have been all of them with equal weight. To me, all of these things are important, but what we must ensure is that the individual student and the student body remain at the centre. We must also ensure that there is not an overemphasis on performance data, pro forma checklists, and key performance indicators. One thing is absolutely clear to me: student life is not about being a statistic and a number on a piece of paper. Because you see, when statistics become too important, then I am of the firm view that university life starts to lose its soul. The risk is that statistics will become a substitute for judgment and personal engagement. The danger is that a one-size-fits-all approach will emerge, and part-time postgraduates attending classes on wet winter evenings, with probably career development at the heart of their efforts, will be treated exactly the same as young full-time undergraduates who value the overall quality of student life, in which formal academic engagement is an essential part of a wider experience. That is not at this university. We believe in engaging with potential students and their families before they have even begun to think about university, and we are committed to developing and maintaining a lifelong relationship with our students and our graduates. Whilst it may be popular amongst sector administrators to consider students as customers or consumers, Ulster sees its students as individuals, as friends, as part of its family. As students, you should expect high standards, but we also believe that you are at the centre of student life in a mutually beneficial relationship between the student and the university, a life and learning experience where student university and staff live and grow together. A true university education is about facilitating students, as Donald Rumsfeld might have had it, to know what they don't know, or without name-dropping, of course, as the great actor and graduate of this university, Ian McKellen, might have said, it is to facilitate our students to try and understand what part you have to play in the world in which you live. There's more to life than you know, and it's all happening out there. Discover what part you can play, and then go for it. So what of the parties? They are, of course, optional. But if it is true that social life is part of student life, whatever form that social life might take, it is equally as true that students individually and collectively, through the student body, are in a strong position as the university to shape life on campus. The university can provide the facilities, but there is a central role for you and your successors in providing the life and soul of this university. The patterns of student behaviour may have changed. Technology may have provided new ways of communicating, and economic conditions may mean that more of you have to work to supplement your income during your studies. I know that our Students' Union is developing to be able to support students in this new context. What has not changed is that fundamental learning and development relationship between student and the university, and long may it last. However, those of you graduating today are acutely aware that your successors, the young people coming after you, may not have the same opportunity to avail of the excellent education and learning that you have benefited from. You are aware that even during your time at this university, due to cutbacks in government investment in our young people, we have had to reduce the number of students we are able to take into this university. This region invests on average over £2,000 per year less in each student than across the rest of the United Kingdom. Over recent years, the amount we have to invest in the student experience has reduced by some £60 million. Queen's University is in the same predicament, and there is more to come. As a university, we are working hard to convince government of the importance of investing in higher education for young people. I urge you, the graduates, to join us in helping us to ensure that your younger siblings, and indeed your own children when the time comes, do not have to leave Northern Ireland to fulfil their educational potential. We talk proudly of the Ulster University family. As a family, we must unite to ensure that others have the same opportunity to join the family as you have. Be an ambassador for this university, for higher education, and above all, for the future generations of young people. Can I again congratulate you all? Thank you for the great enjoyment you give me as Deputy Vice-Chancellor for this university, and wish you every success, whatever you do in your life. I will leave you with a thought from the great writer Terry Pratchett in his book, The Last Continent. But we're a university. We have to have a library, said Ridcully. It adds tone. What sort of people would we be if we didn't go into the library? Students, said the senior wrangler morosely. I don't think that applies to the graduating class today, who have demonstrated their hard work in the achievements of everyone who will walk across the stage. Please enjoy this day with your parents, your friends and supporters. Thank you. In accordance with the wishes of the Senate, and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I have conferred honorary degrees, and other academic distinctions of the University of Ulster in those named at the conferment list approved by the Senate. I call upon Professor Foley to present Dathé O'Kelly for the honorary degree of Doctor of Letters.
Vice-Chancellor. Seamus Heaney has once said, if you have the words, there's always a chance that you'll find the way. A native of Dunleary, Mr. Dai O'Kelly has enjoyed a distinguished academic diplomatic career spanning more than 35 years, a career which has seen him provide great service to the development of the current governmental arrangements of Northern Ireland, exert a profound influence within international law, and shape the civic life of the people of this island through his role on the Press Council of Ireland. In the words of one of our most celebrated poets, Dai has repeatedly found the words and hence the way, and we as a university are proud to associate ourselves to his achievements. Having graduated in 1966 from University College Dublin, where he studied history and Irish language, he and his wife, Antoinette, who is here today, spent 3 years as volunteer secondary school teacher in Zambia. He also worked as a secondary school teacher on his return to Ireland before joining the Department of Foreign Affairs in 1973. Within that department, he played a leading role in Northern Irish affairs. He served in the Anglo-Irish division of the DFA during the negotiation of the Anglo-Irish Agreement, with specific responsibility for Northern Ireland from 1982 to 1985. He was a member of the Anglo-Irish Secretariat in Hollywood from the outset, from December 1985 to August 1987. Mr. O'Kelly, in his long career, held embassy posts in Moscow, London, Belfast, New York, Finland, and Estonia, serving as the ambassador to London for 6 years, from 2001 to 2007. Mr. O'Kelly was presented with the Order of the White Rose of Finland as a mark of his outstanding contribution as the first Irish ambassador to Finland in 1993 to 1998. During his tenure as the Irish ambassador to Finland, the country was in the progress of joining the European Union, and Mr. O'Kelly was virtually an advisor to the Finnish government on the practical issues of EU membership. He was the first Irish ambassador to lie a wreath at the cenotaph on Anzac Day in 2005 and to attend at the cenotaph on Remembrance Day in 2006. When he left London in 2007, he took the post of permanent representative of Ireland to the United Nations in Geneva, remaining there until his retirement. While there, he led a small Irish team of diplomats and military personnel which negotiated the convention to outlaw the use of cluster munitions. This instrument, which is now part of the Geneva Convention, registered at the UN and overseen by the International Committee of the Red Cross, has made the use of cluster munitions, or cluster bombs as they are commonly known, illegal under international humanitarian law. It is supported by states such as the UK, France, Germany, and Japan, and at this stage by about 109 other states, and exerts a strong influence on states which are not yet signatories. It has led to the destruction of huge quantities of this very indiscriminate weapon, and has thereby saved and protected countless civilian lives throughout the world. Mr. O'Kelly retired from the Foreign Service in 2009, having spent a total of 37 years there, but his working life continued. He was the Director General of the Institute for European and Foreign Affairs, a Dublin-based think tank, for almost 4 years, from 2009 to 2013. He was chairman of the Press Council of Ireland for 6 years, where he served the maximum 2 terms from 2009 to 2016. He also served on a number of boards, including the Institute of Irish Studies at Liverpool University and on the board of Cooperation Ireland for the last 5 years. Ulster University prides itself on being the civic university of Northern Ireland, working to change lives and shape society for the better. Daithí O'Kelly's working life has embodied the very same inspirational principle: working to change lives and shape society for the better. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, for his outstanding contribution to the Press Council of Ireland, for his outstanding diplomatic career which has left the marks of positive achievement both locally and globally, and for his major contribution to the life of the people of this island, in the name of the Senate, I present Mr. Dahi O'Kelly for the degree of Doctors of Letters, honoris causa.
Dahi O'Kelly, in the name of the Senate, I present to you the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. I call upon Professor Maguire, Executive Dean of the Faculty of Computing, Engineering and the Built Environment, to present candidates.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, in the name of the Senate, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Adrian Nicholas Pugsley. Jane Brenda Rogers. Jill Stevenson. David Moore Stevenson. The degree of Master of Science in Renewable Energy and Energy Management, Emer Malone. The Postgraduate Diploma in Housing Studies, Joel Ian Fraser. Gareth Ferguson. The degree of Master of Engineering in Civil Engineering and Diploma in Professional Practice, Ryan Stephen McCoy. Andrew David McGrath. Curtis Robert Monaghan. Declan Morgan. William David Moore. The degree of Master of Science in Planning, Regeneration and Development and Diploma in Professional Practice, Philip John Gordon. The degree of Master of Science in Planning, Regeneration and Development, Laura Byrne. Glenn Keelan Doherty. Ciara McMullen. Anya Rankin. The degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours in Civil Engineering and Diploma in Professional Practice, Mark McAvoy. Liam Digley Bratton. Ryan David Hanna. Thomas Luke McMullen. Ferris Friag. Adam Kirkland. Gavin McBride. Aaron McReynolds. Kevin Moran. Patrick Thomas Phelan. William Alexander Cooper. The degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours in Energy and Building Services Engineering and Diploma in Professional Practice, Katarzyna Wierzyński. Andrew Clark. John Dunlop. Philip Albert Elwood. Colm King. Saoirse Nibrun. James Perry. Amy May Robinson. Alistair McKinnon Henderson. The degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours in Civil Engineering, Rachel Giles. Jason MacArthur. Andrew Milligan. Gregory Neely. The degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Honours in Energy and Building Services Engineering, Denver Kyle. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Building Engineering and Materials and Diploma in Professional Practice, Patrick Flanagan. Sean Drain. Jenna Neve Alice Fawcett. Michael Fagan. George Gallagher. James Kearney. Owen McCluskey. Keelan Taggart. Gavin Tague. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Building Surveying and Diploma in Professional Practice, Ryan Castley. Rhys Ivan Jones. Jake Milley. Peter McCullum. Stephen Nelson. Stephen Robert Best. Nathan Bolton. Christian Douglas. Christopher Gillen. Mark Grant. Conor Hanna. Adam John Heron. John Kelly. Christopher Mahood. Keelan McAleenan. Stuart McLean. Joseph McDermott. Adam Ritchie. Canis Garher. Kevin Doherty. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Civil Engineering, Geoinformatics and Diploma in Professional Practice, Adam Raymond Dawson. Jason Ferguson. Ephraim George Beggs. Blake Miller. Mark Sands. Henry Chung. Cathal O'Neill. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Construction Engineering and Management and Diploma in Professional Practice, Kerry Ann Downey. Peter Elliott. Daniel Hill. Patrick McBride. Kieran McCann. Niall McKevitt. Shannon Northern. Adam Brennan. Kevin Curran. Lee Flanagan. Matthew David Hamilton. Michael McCusker. Ryan Nichol. Stephen Toland. Aidan McVeigh. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Environmental Health and Diploma in Professional Practice, Holly Archer. Shane Paul Coyle. Cara Finnegan. Sarah Jones. Carol Kennedy. Deborah Murray. Catherine Winters. Ellen Bailey. Lewis Best. Amy Blair. Amy Carberry. Kathy Conley. Rachel Corey. Adam Joel Kinnear. Michael Martin. Amy McCullough. Naomi McCullough. Conor Morgan. David Murphy. Adele Quinn. Elise Taylor. Donna Teague. Kaylee Hamill. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Housing Management and Diploma in Professional Practice, Tanya Graham. Brendan Haughey. Catherine Ann Lightoller. James McFall. Philip Alsop. Deborah Black. Anna Carlin. Declan Curran. Shane Feeney. Canis Porrick Francis. Christina Little. Andrea Martin. Helen McConville. Ashley Jane Mulgrave. Andrew O'Keefe. Paul Stewart. Natalie Margaret Toman. Carrie Lynch. Angela McAleese. Tamara McShane. Courtney Rachel Skates. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Property Investment, Appraisal and Development and Diploma in Professional Practice, Stephen Robert Deering. Tomas McLaughlin. William Russell. Anthony Arthur Wilson O'Neill. Michael Haswell. Kevin Reeve. the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Quantity Surveying and Commercial Management and Diploma in Professional Practice, Padraig Gillen. Aidan Ashley Grego. Trafford Jackson. Matthew Andrew Clark McCord. Damien Anthony Ming. Brendan Armstrong. Kieran James Byrne. Jamie Donnelly. Michael William Drysdale. Sarah Elizabeth Durnan. Michael Heineman. Adam James Ian Lowry. Christopher Mallon. John McAlinden. Christian McGeady. Stephen McGurk. Conor O'Kane. Emmett Shields. Anthony Devlin. Tomas Duffy. Andrew Charles Kerr. Stephen William White. The degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Transportation and Diploma in Professional Practice, Damien Liam Devlin. Ryan James Robert Hill. Renwick Sharp. Christopher Shields. Jake Reese Alexander. Aaron Armstrong. Darren Bell. John Benton. Matthew Cartmel. Jack Chapman. Stephen Cleland. Conor Convery. Ross Houston Davison. Philip James Duffy. Adam Getty. Timothy Johnson. Conor Kelly. Kieran Markey. Charles McLean. Patrick McKelvey. Patrick McGoran. Emma Moffat. Christopher Nugent. Kerry O'Boyle. Rory Smith. Ryan Edward Bramold. Patrick Butler. Mary Anya O'Neill. Jonathan Stanford. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Building Engineering and Materials, Alexander John Cameron. Nicky McCaig. Stephen Quinn. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Building Surveying, Stephen Fraser. Philip Graham. Alexander William Nelson Jackson. Richard McKee. John McCann. Jonathan Smith. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Civil Engineering, Geoinformatics, Jude Barrett. Oliver Haggerty. Conor Casey. Alexander James McKeown. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Construction Engineering and Management, Jonathan Carrick. Craig Henry Samuel Glasgow. Daniel Brownfield. Stephen Burke. Catherine Dobbin. Aaron Paul Fonseca. Rory Gray. Declan Grimes. Conor Patrick Heenan. Cathal Killen. Michael McKinney. Paul O'Connor. Liam McCartan. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Environmental Health, Mark Timothy Crawford. Therese Corrigan. Courtney Jade Nannery. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Property Investment, Appraisal and Development, Laura Mary Galloway. Catherine Kelly. Jarlath Jackman. The degree of Bachelor of Science of Honours in Quantity Surveying and Commercial Management, Adam Slews. Fergal McGarty. The degree of Associate Bachelor's Degree in Building Engineering and Materials and Diploma in Professional Practice, Mark David Kearns. The degree of Associate Bachelor's Degree in Environmental Health and Diploma in Professional Practice, Paul Golagy. The degree of Associate Bachelor's Degree in Transportation and Diploma in Professional Practice, James Devlin. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, this concludes the presentation of candidates from the Faculty of Art Design in the Built Environment.
Thank you, Professor Maguire, for presenting candidates. I call upon our honorary graduate, Dr. O'Kelly, to address the congregation on behalf of those who have been presented.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, members of the Council and of the Senate, Provost, Professor Foley, graduates, proud parents, ladies and gentlemen. I thank the University very much for this great honour that has been bestowed on me this afternoon. And I want at the same time to thank my wife Antoinette, who is here with me today, because without her support I would not have been able to achieve anything. Today is a very proud day for you graduates. It's a watershed in a way, because you've worked hard, perhaps some of you harder than others, and you've come to a certain stage in your lives where you pass, as it were, from not childhood, not teenagehood, but you pass from one particular stage into a stage where you are actually more responsible than anybody else for your own futures. Your parents and your friends are here with you. And always remember that you wouldn't be here today without the support which your parents gave. And I'm sure they're very proud of your achievements, particularly those who may not have been fortunate enough themselves to have attended university. And you may be the first in your family to have graduated. They're very proud that you're joining what is actually a very privileged group of people, and that is people who have degrees. And we know that people who have more talents than others, more is expected of them in life. So you're entering onto a new adventure. There's a lot you can achieve. There's a lot that you can contribute to life. And there's a great deal of satisfaction that you can take from life. The future will be different from the past. But at this stage, you can't foretell where you will be. In my particular case, and indeed in the case of my wife, we went to university because we wanted to be school teachers. And we both had enormous satisfaction from being school teachers. I taught school for 7 years and my wife for 40 years. But at a certain stage, something changed in my particular life, and I joined the Irish Department of Foreign Affairs. So you can never tell where you're going to end up. But as the opportunity comes along, and let me be frank, some will be more fortunate than others, try and grasp that opportunity. Try and give something to life and leave it a little bit better than you found it. I just want to talk about two particular things in my life where my experience may be of some benefit to you. And if you'll indulge me for a few minutes, I'll concentrate on two of them, just to illustrate how you actually can make changes, how you can deal with problems, and how you can find solutions. Both of them were mentioned by Professor Foley. The first is the Anglo-Irish Agreement of 1985. You students don't remember probably the Troubles, but I'm sure your parents do, and I'm sure your grandparents do. And let me tell you, they were awful times. I served in the Irish Embassy in London from 1977 to 1982. I was there for the murder of Mountbatten. I was there for the murder of a friend of mine, Uri Neve. I was there for the hunger strikes. And the relationship between London and Dublin was awful. There was no trust, no respect. The relationship between the government in Dublin, and particularly unionists in Northern Ireland, was also pretty bad. Luckily, the Times found politicians who were determined to make change, determined to try and deal with what appeared to be an intractable situation. And that was Margaret Thatcher and Garret Fitzgerald. In the South, we were afraid, in fact, I'd say some of us were quite terrified, that what was happening in the North would destabilise our state in the South. The British were very concerned because they felt that they could not defeat this terrorism in a military fashion, that some way would have to be found to deal with the problems. Now, when the Anglo-Irish Agreement was signed in 1985, as many of you in this hall will remember, the Unionists in Northern Ireland were aghast, understandably so, because the British government, much to our surprise, had not kept Unionists informed of what was happening, as we indeed had kept the SDLP informed of what we were doing. But the Irish government made a huge step in November 1985. We accepted in the text of the Anglo-Irish Agreement that there could be no change in the constitutional position of Northern Ireland without the consent of a majority. We accepted that it was not up to us in the Republic to determine the future constitutional status of Northern Ireland. And in return, and you have to remember it was a time of direct rule, the British accepted that they would listen to the Irish government when the Irish government talked to them about the problems faced largely by nationalists. And it was out of that agreement over a long period of years, in fact it was 27 if you go the whole way to the devolution of policing, it was out of that agreement that the changed relationships between London and Dublin, the changed relationships between Belfast and Dublin, all of those changed relationships have led to a better world. And the people responsible for those changes were people like Thatcher and Fitzgerald, people like Albert Reynolds and John Major, people like Tony Blair and Bertie Ahern. So change is possible in no matter what you're doing, whether it's town planning, whether it's building roads, whether it's looking at the cladding of high-rise blocks, as that unfortunate tragedy in London shows. Change is possible, and you are the people who will give the leadership in that change. I want to just talk for a moment about a second piece in which I was involved, which was the Convention to outlaw the use of cluster bombs. Any of you who have seen the old American movies from the 1960s will see those great big flying fortresses and the bellies of the airplanes opening and the great big bomb canisters falling out. And just before they hit the ground, the canisters open and you get 200, 300, 400 what we called bomblets. They're cluster munitions. Literally thousands of people are dying every year in Vietnam, in Laos, in Cambodia, also in the Middle East, and also in the Balkans, from cluster munitions which were dropped by one army or another over the years. Now, in Geneva, the body which is part of the United Nations, which looks after disarmament, is the Conference on Disarmament, to which I was the permanent representative of Ireland for 2.5 years. When I was going to Geneva, I said to Dublin I would do anything they wanted me to do in Geneva, but I didn't want to do disarmament. But I ended up doing the cluster munitions. No progress could be made in the Conference on Disarmament because it operates by consensus. And you had states in the Conference on Disarmament which were opposed to outlawing cluster munitions. 85% of the non-nuclear arsenal of the United States is cluster munitions. It's the same as true for the Russians, and the same is true for the Israelis. So 7 states decided that they would set up an independent diplomatic operation, take it out of the Conference on Disarmament, try and get a deal, and if we got a deal, bring it back into the United Nations. The Irish got involved because of one particular person, Dermot Ahern, who was the Irish Foreign Minister and who's resident not very far from here in Dundalk. He had visited South Lebanon along the Israeli border, and he was horrified to see that the Israelis had deliberately placed cluster munitions all over the agricultural area in South Lebanon, contingent to the Israeli border. Farmers, their children were being killed as they came back into their fields and as they touched these things which were hanging from trees or in the ground underneath their feet. He was horrified. And so 7 relatively small states took this thing out of the Conference on Disarmament. Those states were Norway, which was the lead state at the beginning, Ireland, Austria, New Zealand, Peru, Mexico, and surprisingly, the Vatican, which is, by the way, a state as well as a religious centre. And over a period of 2 years, we built up a set of principles. And we built it up in conjunction with the International Committee of the Red Cross. And it was about the definition of a cluster munition which causes unacceptable harm to civilians. Ireland took over the leadership of this group in February 2008. And we had a diplomatic convention in Croke Park in Dublin, which lasted 2 weeks, of which I was the chair, in May 2008. And 107 states signed up that day, including the United Kingdom, including France, both of whom had cluster munitions and had used them, including Japan and including Germany. The result is that the use of cluster munitions is now illegal. It doesn't mean that they haven't been used. They were used by the Russians in Georgia, and they appear to have been used by the Saudis in Yemen. They probably have been used by Assad in Syria, because there's still an awful lot of them around. But they're now a weapon which is outlawed in international affairs. So it is possible to bring about change. And to do so, I think there's 2 particular principles. And that is that you need to get to know the people that you're dealing with. And you need to build up trust. And you need to build up respect for different points of view. And it's only when you've done all of that that you can find solutions to problems. Now, they may be very small solutions. They may be, how do you put in a crossroads, or how do you put in a roundabout, or how do you deal with a particular transportation issue? But you really have to listen to the other side. You have to respect the other side's view. And then, if you do that, you will, in my view, you will find a solution. You will leave the world a little bit better than you found it. And unlike the Rolling Stones, you will get satisfaction. May I finish just by repeating what the Deputy Vice-Chancellor said in his speech. He said, discover what part you can play and then go for it. And I wish you all every success. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. O'Kelly, for a very informative and thoughtful address. I call upon Catherine Ann Lightoller, a new graduate in the Faculty of Art Design and the Built Environment, to propose a vote of thanks.
Hello everybody. Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends. My name is Katie Lightoller and today I'm graduating in Housing Management. I feel incredibly privileged to be speaking to you today on behalf of all those graduating, although I am incredibly nervous. The purpose of my speech is to represent the student journey, all of our journeys, those who had a short academic life and those like myself who have taken a little bit longer to get here. Those who have found the journey easy and those who have struggled. We have all pulled all-nighters. We've consumed questionable levels of caffeine, and at one point or another, we've asked serious questions about our abilities. Yet, from all of our journeys with very different beginnings, we're all here today as the class of 2017. Today, as graduates, we receive our degree certificates, the end result and a tangible demonstration of our hard work, dedication, and effort. I believe it is important to recognise all of the experiences afforded to us by Ulster University in the shaping of our progress and our achievements. Ulster University has provided us with a platform to shape our future prospects and ambition. We have acquired the relevant knowledge, life skills and confidence to harness our potential and ensure it does not go unfulfilled. We have all managed the challenges of completing our studies, passed the assignments and exams we thought we might fail, and we focus now on the opportunities that lie ahead of us as Ulster University graduates. Graduating today, I feel I'm in good company, as Ulster alumni are leading, contributing and influencing within their respective fields all over the world. We can learn so much from those who have gone before us, the alumni networks, and we can utilise programmes and services that enable us to stay connected and supported as we embark upon fresh challenges and career progression. The knowledge and attributes that we have acquired in our time here will in turn shape and influence others in the many and varied paths that each of us here will now choose to take. We remain ambassadors for our university, proud to tell others of the doors it can open and the possibilities that it can present. Ulster University is a place where knowledge is created and shared. We leave here as assured and well-equipped graduates ready for our next step. Our lecturers and support staff are right at the heart of our Ulster University experience, and we thank them all for their inspiration, understanding and guidance. At this point, I would like to add a personal vote of thanks to the housing management staff and school faculty. Under increased pressure and student uncertainty surrounding course closure, they engaged with all students and ensured final year studies were completely uninterrupted. Ursula and Paddy, our sincerest thanks for your commitment to the housing management course. On behalf of my fellow students and friends here today, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our families and friends who have supported and encouraged us in our university career. I stand here as one student voice, but each and every student here would want to thank those who have played a special role in their journey. For me, those people are my parents, Janice and Briss, my sister Beth, and my partner Damien. Along my journey, I've heard many stories of support. Parents have taken assignment questions to GA matches to ask advice from friends working in that field. Parents that have driven through the night with USB pens when we forgot them at home and were handing in work the next day. And we thank you so much for proofreading our assignments time and time again. I believe it's also important for me, and I'm sure many of my fellow students, to give thanks and also apologise to our friends and families for our endless conversation surrounding our dissertation topics. I don't think those around me cared too much about the impact of the tenant participation strategy on social housing providers in Northern Ireland, but you listened to me, so thank you. For all those who have supported us financially, whether that be friends and family, the student support services at Ulster University, or employers that dealt with our ever-changing shift patterns. I know my parents are looking forward to closing the bank of mum and dad. Over my time at university, I've encouraged them to see me as an investment, albeit one that makes frequent withdrawals and provides no return. The pressures of university can be great, and seriously, for all those that were able to help with the financial pressures, we're so grateful. We are all so pleased that you could be here today and be part of this very special occasion, a celebration for everyone, not just those of us graduating, but for all those who have supported us along the way. We've worked incredibly hard and we deserve to be here, but we could not and would not have got here without you. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Catherine, thank you for that excellent vote of thanks. We are coming to the end of the graduation ceremony, and as Catherine outlined, today is a day of celebration. It's a day when you, the graduating class, can thank your parents, your friends, your family, those who have supported you through your academic journey. So can I ask you for a round of applause to thank those people? I declare this graduation ceremony closed and invite the new graduates to join the academic procession.